Oh my god. Oda. Fuck. What in the actual fuck? One Piece chapter with 400 and what's this? 423. What in the actual fuck just happened? Oda just hit us with so much epic stuff, and then he ends the chapter off with Sanji saying, "Oh, drowning sailors. They said to see a mermaid, and that's when you see Kokoro." Like, I'm not gonna lie, like when you saw like the hair flowing and everything, I'm like, oh shit, they've got actual mermaids in One Piece. What the fuck? I'm like, man, let's see what Oda's gonna draw here, right? And it turns out to be Kokoro and Sanji. The look on his face, like Sanji has his mouth open. It's like Sanji's like, drown me. It's like that meme where it says, what has been seen cannot be unseen. Like, that's what happens here. Like, this is one of those moments where I could tell Oda was a Dragon Ball fan, because this is some shit Toriyama would have did. And Toriyama used to do this shit all the time, man, especially in the first 193 chapters of Dragon Ball, and especially in Dr. Slump. I highly recommend checking out Dr. Slump if you have not. But that's just a gag moment. That's a gag moment. I thought that was so fucking awesome. That was so awesome to see. And I love how Kokoro is just like, you're not dying yet. Like, that was so funny. Now, with that being said, you know, the trolling continues, because after Luffy gets blown away, right? Luffy's like, oh shit, I've gotten small again. And now we get an explanation. You know, when Luffy uses up a bunch of power in Gear 3, he can only sustain it for a little bit, and then he goes small. But the same amount of time that he spends in Gear 3 is the amount of time that he spends in his chibi form, right? And so what was really cool about that is Luffy has enough awareness of the situation to say, I've got to get out of here or that guy's going to kill me. And one of the things that we see right away is Rob Lucci says he didn't get killed in that explosion. It'd be boring. And Rob Lucci is reminding me of a Saiyajin, a Saiyan, okay? Where one of the things that Rob Lucci is doing is he enjoys the thrill of battle at this point. I wouldn't say he's drunk off of it, but the fact that he used the word boring to describe the fact that Luffy couldn't have been finished. Luffy very well could have been taken out by it. I mean, they targeted their own ship. There was a lot of destructive force. Luffy logically could have been defeated. There was no trace of him. Yet Rob Lucci says he can't be done. And sure enough, you know, we get the panels where Rob Lucci tells Luffy, like, your power, you can't control it. Which is another reason why I've been saying, like, Luffy has been winging it for the most part. There's a lot of heat on him. He's got to train. He's got to hide off. He's got to master his powers. Because Rob Lucci is probably the first of millions of pirates on this level, okay? Like, I know Rob Lucci isn't a pirate, but there's probably 1,000 other Rob Luccis on the Grand Line that have this level of skill, you know? And if he's going to match up with somebody like Shanks later on down the line, Luffy's got to get a better grasp. He can't just take things by the tip of his dick and expect to be able to be the king of the pirates. It doesn't work that way. Every hero gets to that point where they have their obstacle that they have to train to overcome. And so for Luffy, his obstacle now is just like with Nico Robin. It's up here. Luffy has to master his own limitations. And I believe that mastering your physical limitations is going to start with your mental capacity. So that's going to be telling where Luffy decides to go from here. What actually happens. And what I love about this is Luffy has a moment of helplessness where Rob Lucci is toying with him in a sense, which is why I said he reminds me of a Saiyan, because, you know, Goku purposely does not fight all out in battles. He enjoys the thrill of battle. Vegeta has a sadistic sense to him to where he could probably finish a fight off top, but part of his character likes to make you suffer. Like, that's always been his thing. Like, when he first arrived on Earth, Vegeta could just blown up everything. Didn't happen. He let the Cybermen fight. Then he let Nappa fight. And even when he's fighting Goku, he could have ended that fight right then and there for Goku went into Kaioken. And even at Kaioken, he wasn't strong enough to compete with him. His power level was 16. Vegeta at his max before having to use any Ki Blast was at 18,000. that's a large enough gap to where you could have completely one-shot at this dude. So what I thought was really cool is when Luffy's pinned down, he has that moment where he says, "Get big, get big, get big," and sure enough, his body starts to expand. And what's telling about that is, again, this is the luck coming out, but at the same time, I think for that first moment after Aokiji, Luffy realized he's staring death in the face. And just like with Aokiji, I think he's going to come away with this even stronger upstairs. But again, he's got to pull everything together, man. He's got to pull everything together. So now that all that's out the way, you know where this review is going next. Spandom. Franky's in the crew. It is what it is at this point. Because, you got this dude giving fucking friendship speeches. He's like, "I told you to bet on the Straw Hats. Nico Robin, are your Straw Hats really coming for you? Okay, chin up, girl." Like, that's basically the speech that he gives her. But what was so telling is the fact that Spandom's doing these underhanded attacks where he's using, like, the elephant. And he's telling him, like, "Hey, you attack her with her guards down." And at first, I thought Nico Robin, because she was trying to recollect herself mentally, she was just staring that sword in the face because she's going, "Okay, this is it," waiting for death. And then when I saw the panel, I'm like, "Oh shit, wait a second." It stopped. And I was like, were they trying to bluff at her? But I'm like, no, Phantom clearly said kill her when her guard's down. And that's when we find out Franky stepped in and he basically goes to town on Spandam. This is after he's already mollywopped this dude, right? He tells him, like, "Look, if I'd have been stronger back then, what happened to Tom wouldn't have happened." And you get like the series of flashbacks and you just see it where, Franky, his respect for Luffy has gone all the way up because Luffy not only had the balls to do what he physically couldn't do. I guess let me rephrase this. Franky had the balls to do what Luffy is currently doing, which is try to stop the execution of somebody dear to him. But Franky didn't have the power. And even now, with the power Franky has, it's not enough. And yet Luffy, along with his comrades, the Straw Hats, his underlings basically, are doing what he couldn't. And that's, again, I've said before, every member of the Straw Hats could probably be the leader of their own crew. And we've seen Franky have his own crew. Hell, he even has like his fucking palace, Franky House, And the whole crazy thing about this is if Franky joins the crew, or rather when he joins, it's going to be that thing where he realizes, I've gotten this far on my own, but I need this guy's help in order to go even further. They got something special going on here. That's so telling. And I like how, when Franky picks up that damn elephant and slams him on Spandam, I was just like, fuck yeah. I love that. And that's like another Naruto thing where, Naruto picks up one of those pain summons and just completely slams that shit. Like, I love that. I completely love that. But it just shows you how freakishly strong Franky is. Luffy's collecting assets at this point. If you get somebody like Franky in your crew and you've got to work on your own power and everything, and you've got to train, now's the time to fall back. Get off the island, right? Get that ship, like what Franky was saying, give me the passenger ship. Hijack one of them damn things. Get the Straw Hats out of here. Maybe use Kokoro as a way to escape. And you hide off. You give Franky 6 months, okay? That's be enough time. You give Franky 6 months to build him a ship that can go across the Grand Line and that can surpass what Gold Roger had, right? The king of the pirates, okay? Give him 6 months to do that and then set sail. Given what they've done, 6 months might not be long though. Maybe we need a year. Usually in shonen, time skips, they're about a year. At least in my experience and what I've read, the most common first time skip is about a year. If it takes longer than that, then, whatever. At this point, it just depends. Like this Oda go with the symbolic numbers of 3, 7, 13. It's going to be really telling which one he chooses. Personally, I think a year is about enough time. And I think that Luffy and the Straw Hats should be training while Franky builds his ship. Gonna be really key because again, they can't go island to island at this point because they know where they're going. Like they know that the log is gonna send them in a certain direction. You know, Luffy and the others, I think they gotta buck the trend. They gotta find another island to hide off on outside of their main course and introduce plot. That's why you have Nami there with you. Nami is a brilliant navigator. She can probably find her way back onto the course that they were on before. And you can do it in a low-key way to where they're not going to be paying attention to you. You just got to get away from Eames Lobby, far enough away from it to where you're not on their radar. So overall, this was a really good chapter, man. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What was your favorite point in this chapter? But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, share. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. Have an awesome day, guys.